Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Today, I have with me our clerk, Martin Brook. Welcome, Martin.
Good morning, Carrie.
And we're here to talk about new precincts.
We are.
So why? Why are we having these new precincts? What happened?
Well, there's a lot that went into this. So the first part is that voter behaviors changed. More people are voting absentee or voting early. Two, the law changed. So the number of people that can be in a precinct has increased from 2,999 to 4,999 in recognition of the changing voting patterns. And then for efficiency for the running elections and the experience of the voters. All those things played into the why of what we're doing and the goals we're trying to accomplish. And to do it within the districts that exist now. So districts set forth where the elected officials run in, which area of voters. Precincts represent where the voters go vote.
Okay.
So districts are one thing; those are done typically right after the census, and precincts are done as necessary by the local officials.
So how many precincts did we have, and what are we going down to now?
We had 18, and we're going to 12.
Okay. All right, that's pretty substantial. So it saves us money to do that.
It saves the township money, or therefore the taxpayers' money, because at the same time we're spending more of our resources to process absentee ballots. A full 74% of the people vote absentee presently or early.
Wow.
And that resource expenditure is going up and up to accomplish that. Whereas at the same time we were still spending the same amount of money for the precincts, and the number of voters showing up was going down dramatically. So the last election, we only had 700-800 people show up in person.
And so in person meaning the day of the election or at the library?
Day of the election in person.
So, and we added other ways for people to give us their ballots, right? So they can mail it in, they can drop it off at a box that are around the township, they can vote early. What am I missing?
Yeah,
vote early
vote
early in person, which I think people like to still vote in person, but it's more time available because they're able to go to the library and cast their ballot there.
Right. Now, one of the big advantages of that too is that if you receive an absentee ballot in the mail, you can return it, as you mentioned, those ways. So besides that, you could do it in person in my office or in person in the precinct. So previously, you could not vote your absentee ballot in a precinct. So now the law changed, and you can vote it in the early voting location, or you can vote it in the precinct on election day. You just take that ballot in. We'll verify your identity. We'll verify that ballot was the one issued to you, and then you'll be allowed to cast that ballot. You don't have to previously you had to turn that one in, and we would issue a new one. You'd refill it out.
So tell me about the new map that we have.
So what I've brought, and hopefully we can see here in a minute, is a map of the township, and the blue color represents areas of the township that have seen a change, either the polling location for the individual or the boundaries of the precinct. Great, we can see it now. The light color, light yellow, were areas where there was no substantial change. So Precinct 2 is still Precinct 2, same boundaries, same voting location.
Okay.
Precinct 4 is still Precinct 4, same boundaries, same voting location. Precinct 12 is a little different. It's a new number. It used to be a different number, but it's the same boundaries and the same polling location. So if you live in 12, you have essentially have experienced no change. Your number changed, but who knows what those are anyway. Most people, as you can see from this map, will experience some small change in location and boundary, the cohort of people they're voting in the precinct for. And now, again, these are just precincts. It's a matter of administrative efficiency and experience for the voters. Has no impact on the districts, like who you're voting for. Right. Those are another map. And in the township, we have a lot of divisions in that area. We have 5 state house seats, 3 county commissioners that we vote for, and the rest is a single one state senator, 1 congressional person.
But most of those were voting on those next year, not this year.
Correct.
Right? So this year it's a smaller election. It's like, I don't want to say it's a practice election because it's still an important election, but it's for more of a local issue for schools. Is that what we're...
There is an election this November. The 2 two areas that are voting are one, the Pontiac School District people are voting on a millage, and the people who are in the Bloomfield Hills School District are being asked to vote on a millage too. So if you live in the township but you're in the Birmingham School District, no election for you this fall.
So not
Or
everybody at every
Avondale.
precinct is voting this year.
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right. So
So we have 4 school districts, and 2 of them are not voting this November, and 2 of them are.
Okay. And so this is not the only communication that people are going to get. So in your township newsletter, we are going to be putting a new precinct map in there so that people, every resident that lives in the township will be getting this map, and a little bit more of a succinct story about why what we're doing as far as the maps, and then social media, and they're going to get their little postcard that everybody's gotten, right? That
Yes.
people do they go out every year or just when things
Well,
change?
at least every 10 years, because then that's when the districts are redrawn. And then they're sent out every time there's a precinct change. So this is the voter information card. It used to be called the voter identification card. It's not ID. You can't use it to prove your identification in a precinct. So
they changed
we
the name.
changed the name. It's
Good
the same
idea.
acronym now, voter
Right.
information card, voter
Okay.
identification card. But it's an information card that just tells you that your voting precinct has changed or your voting location has changed. Simple. It's perforated. Tear it off. Keep it, and then you can refer to it. The website will be updated to reflect the changes, and we'll be going through this communication cycle with your team presently and more this fall for the November election. And then we'll rerun it all again next year, starting in the summer for the August election, the August primary, and then the November general for the statewide.
Right. And we look forward to doing those communications, those award-winning communications,
Yes,
because
yes.
we've won 2 awards this year for our work.
We have. That's pretty great. I mean, the two of it, clerks and cables collaborated, and we prepared a communication plan for the election last year to try to communicate to everybody all the changes that there were about how they could vote. For instance, taking your absentee ballot and voting in a precinct. That was then sent out to all the residents and used as a template for all of our social media, so there was a consistent message in visual and content.
Right. Because you got to give it to people in all different ways, all
Right?
different
I mean,
formats.
exactly.
And
And
keep repeating the same information over and over so that
it's
they
hard to
actually
get-
know.
Yeah, it's really hard to get through all the noise with real information, and that's what we had, and that's what we tried to do, and I think it worked. And in recognition of that, the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks awarded us the Best Practices, or MI Excellence Award, for the communication plan. And I think also in the
Right.
cable
So
world.
in the cable world, it was the National Association of Telecommunication Officers and Advisors, which was one of our main groups that we belong to nationally. And we received an award for the election workers video that really recognized the election workers, talked about the process, the volunteers that we rely on. Volunteers, and some people get paid, right?
They do get paid.
Okay.
There is
Oh,
compensation.
they do. They're not volunteers.
They're not.
Okay, sorry.
No one's doing it for the money. Let me
Right,
put it
right,
that way.
right.
They're all doing
Especially
it for
those
their
late hours.
Commitment to democracy, their commitment to their neighbors
Yes.
and their community. And yes, there is some pay.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've yet to meet someone who does it for the money. Well, we have some high school kids that kind of like to do it for the money, but
Well, I
But
think that
that's it.
the recognition event that you did afterwards, where it brought everybody together, you could see that people are really forming relationships with their neighbors and their community when they volunteer or when they come and work in that capacity for us.
yes, they really do, and we as well with them. So. It's great to work with the folks in the community that have supported elections here for forever and ever, and made them effective and efficient and good experience overall.
What else do you want to tell us?
Well, let me see. I want to talk a little bit about
Coordination with state and county?
Yeah. So
Okay.
now that we're implementing, we cover the communication part. The implementation of this requires 2 steps, which have happened locally. So the 2 were the Election Commission approves the precinct boundaries, and the Board of Trustees approves the polling locations. So both those had to act. We did it slowly so folks could see this information. So the Election Commission first met in April and discussed the changes. and then met in July and voted on the changes. The Board of Trustees first met at the beginning of June to discuss the changes, and then they met again later to adopt the changes at the end of June. I like that process. It gives just more time for things to percolate. Since that time, we were now starting to communicate it. We're also have implemented it with the state. So saying it doesn't make it happen. We now have to go and identify every address and every location as to what their new precinct location number is and location. That's collaboration process through the state has been completed. So what's called the qualified voter file accurately reflects, which precinct I vote in, which precinct you vote in, and everybody else. And then we collaborate with the county. The county is who prints ballots, so they need to know where everybody is because ballots are precinct specific. And so we worked with them to update their information, and so it's there's lots of behind the scenes action to make it happen election day. It's an ongoing really. Elections aren't just election day or the day before, or day after. It's a ongoing process every day, all year long.
So is this unique to Bloomfield Township, or are other communities going through the same kind of redistricting of their precincts?
I've spoken with many other clerks in the Oakland County area, and many others have already made this change or in the process of making this change for the very same reasons we have. They're all seeing folks gravitate towards absentee or early voting and dramatic in-person voting reductions. So from a resource allocation standpoint, to be efficient with our tax dollars, it just makes more sense to make these changes.
Right.
Not only here, but throughout Oakland County.
And so, do you have any data on who's voting absentee, or is it people at home? Are snowbirds? Do you have any idea who's voting more, or is that not something that is easy to tell?
I don't have that data with me, but
next time
we can collect that data. I don't know. I know which method of voting people choose. I don't know how they vote.
Okay.
That information is not retained in the system, but we do know whether they voted absentee or they voted early.
Yeah.
And I can come up with that that data.
Yeah, it's just interesting, and I know that we have a very active population. Like we have good stats as far as the number, our turnout. Our turnout is always very good. So maybe not in a year like this, right? I mean, that'll be a little bit less.
It's going to be a lot less.
Okay.
In elections like this, but it's still, when we compare it to other communities that have a school election, we will best them on that. Honestly, though, we're not where I want to be. I mean, I want everybody. I'd want 100% turnout. Let's get out and vote. It's an important central right of us as citizens of this country. But our numbers are good, and don't lead the state, but they're in the top.
We should lead the state.
We should.
We got to work on that.
I know. To me, there's with early voting, absentee voting, in-person voting, there is no reason why everybody shouldn't be voting.
All right. Well, with that, everybody, get ready to vote in November or earlier. It doesn't start in end of October, does it?
No,
or I guess
we'll mail
the ballots come out.
We'll mail absentee ballots before the end of September. You'll get them. Everyone will get them at home. There are two types of folks. We have two lists: the permanent absentee list, which are people we will mail an application to, who could then return it and say, yes, I want a ballot, and this is where you should mail it. Then there's the permanent mail ballot list. Those are folks who have already applied, been verified by my office as eligible. And their identity has been confirmed, and then every year that every time there's an election, we mail a ballot automatically. These two lists comprise about 18,000 voters. 15,000 are on the permanent mail ballot list, and 3,000 remain on the permanent absentee list. And all those things will go out before the end of and be received before the end of September.
Okay.
We start receiving them back pretty much right away. Then 2 Saturdays prior to Election Day is when early voting starts. It's the Township Library, and then it continues until the Sunday before Election Day. It's not Monday before Election Day. It ends the Sunday before Election Day.
Okay. Well, thank you. We will continue to repeat all of that information as we move forward closer to Election Day. And anybody can call you anytime, right? At the clerk's office, there's someone there to answer a call, or they can just stop in during regular business hours.
Right.
Yes.
7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
We're here to answer questions.
Send us an email, clerk or elections@bloomfield twpmi.gov.
Right.
Our
New email address.
New email address,
Uh-huh.
because we have a .gov
New website.
instead of .org. And yes, they could give us a phone call too.
All right. Well, thanks, Martin. We'll be seeing
Thank you,
you again
Carrie.
soon. And happy voting, everyone.
Yep.